This is actually a very good gameplay. Wow. Two in the morning. Y'all gonna have to bear with me on this one. We're playing a very unfair game. Very unfair game. And only those who know actually know what I'm talking about. So in this video, I hope to provide a masterclass of sorts. Um, but I wouldn't call it the greatest game. Beat him 17 moves, checkmated him, but it is what it is. I feel like I've played better. But as black, this is how you would want to play. So, right out the opening, I knew something was up. I knew something was up. He plays. Is this B? Yes, B3. Listen, B3 is an opening you can play. Uh, this isn't the cow. I think the cow is like D3. Not sure, but it's very a similar concept. It's very compact, and the point is, you see, you don't really commit too many pawns to the center with white. But that is precisely the problem, and this is precisely the reason why I want this to be something that can stand the test of time for chess and understanding what you want to do as black. So usually, what I like to play, it only really works against e4. I like to play my Sicilian. Y'all see me play the Sicilian. Y'all see me win with the Sicilian. Y'all know the Sicilian is an opening that has some levity to it, and it's very sound, but it's a very complex opening. Not everybody can get away with it. I barely get away with it. Um, but that's what I like to play. Uh, but with this here, with him playing b3 into bishop b2, all it is doing, and this is my point, as black, you have to take what the opponent is giving. If the opponent is going to play b3 or even d3 or e3, right? Even if they do commit the more central king or queen pawn to the center, if they're not committing to the center, take as much of the center as possible. And that's what I did. And then from here, it's simply about, okay, let's just make sure nothing's being hung. So obviously, there is a pressure there, and there is a tempo there. Now we have kind of quelled that. Now there's a tempo here. See that? Well, I didn't really quell that. Well, technically it was already quelled with the queen, so we're fine. I wasn't even really thinking, which something else you can do when playing chess, but it only gets you so far. Um, Life goes on though, and now he kind of recognizes his mistake and decides, okay, let me try and remedy. You can't really do it. This is really good pawn structure, but look at my structure. This is a literal fortress that you're not going to break through, and he couldn't. He could not break through. Um, Now, for being honest, here could have foresaw knight g5, and but see, I wasn't thinking. And that's kind of the compromise you'll have to make sometimes when you're playing this game, and sometimes you see certain positional moves that are more sound, and instead of castling, you probably could be like, okay, let's really shut down the attack. you know Life goes on though, because there is no real threat. Like I said, it's a major fortress. We just build, you know. Um, so there's no threat. None of this works. It's all protected. I mean, you don't want to get too close to the king anyway. But he tries it anyways. And we just take, and now we're just up a knight for a pawn. And maybe this is his plan. Maybe he wanted to somehow get the queens off the board, which makes sense because he immediately moves his queen after, which is what makes this fortress built so beautiful. He actually cannot move the queen at all. You see, it's reason why I didn't want to move my queen, because I was kind of scared of this happening. But bishop g4 just straight up traps the queen. Just straight up traps the queen. It just does. There's nowhere for the queen to go. She can't escape from this diagonal, and any forward push, it will be met with a pawn. So you see already what, going back to the opening, with these b3 more modern, stay close together, keep your pieces close together. It does for white. All it does is allow a big black center, and a BBC is white's weaknesses. I don't think anybody got that, but life goes on. So, yeah, but I actually missed this. I actually did. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna mirror. We're gonna protect, not realizing that I have all the agency now. But see, that's another compromise that will be made. You will have to recognize that sometimes you have to sit for a second, like, okay, ask yourself, he moved it there. My bishop wasn't protected. However, the queen isn't really all that protected either. I mean, but there's nothing stopping me from just straight up attacking it. Especially when you realize, oh, it's attacking only one piece for it, because this pawn is protected. This is the queen's pawn anyway. Just but life goes on, and I play queen d7 because I'm a loser, and whatever. And I see that this knight moves, and I'm like, okay, I'm not dealing with this same knight jump that happened over here with the knight getting here and then going here. It was the knight, not the queen, but you get the point. So I play a6 to shut that down, and this is also just losing. And again, you're gonna see bishop g4 is probably gonna be the best move until yeah. Well, now it's not actually, but probably because the queen is no longer trapped. Um, However, it's life, so we take and open up, which at this point you're fine with doing as black, especially when, and this is the beauty, there's now tactics you can start to play with, because you got this big black center that Miss White is just not going to be able to handle, which is probably why you don't let Miss White handle it at all. You keep it with the big black center. Anyway, so the only reason I took with the bishop was because I knew that if I took with the knight, he may think and get scared to take back with the knight. Because my idea is here to put rook d8 and checkmate him. This is not mate, by the way. This is not mate. The king runs, but it's mate in two if he doesn't spot the idea, and if he takes the knight. So once he takes the knight, it's all bad. And by the way, d1 is not checkmate because of this after rook d8. So don't do that. That will just hang your queen for the opponent's queen. Or well, yeah, you'll win it back, but it's not really winning. Here, I'm not sure what his idea was. I think he thought. Actually, I actually have no clue. I had no clue, because not only could I just took like this, probably would have been better to take like this. Actually, it's saying, oh, no, it's saying rook takes is the best. Fair enough. Sometimes computer agrees with me. Hey, maybe. it's not so bad after all. Anywho, um, but after this, if if he doesn't guard against it, this is mating too. It's mating too, and this is the type of stuff you get when you develop this big black center. It's 2 a.m. Y'all have to just y'all have to forgive me on this one. Um, but this is what happens when you develop such a big black center. You realize there's so much space being taken up by these pieces. White can't really move, which is probably why he sacked the knight. For what reason? I have no clue. Because now, not only does your queen have to move, which she probably should have just honestly went back. Because I think, yeah, it's saying mate in 10. Um, Probably because, yep, you start off taking this pawn and all of that, and you probably deflect the king, or yeah, you take and then you deflect the king, so now you can take the queen and trade off and all of that good shit. But here he doesn't spot it. He doesn't spot that my idea is actually just queen d2 check, defended by the rook, and I'm mating him very soon. By the way, it's this dark square bishop. That's the key. Um, so he plays queen f5, and it's mating too. And it's very easy to spot. This is a very simple pattern where you have the rook supporting your queen from the back. And now the king is completely cut off. And by the way, it's not this. This is not mate. You will lose your queen. Do not do that. You always have to make sure when you're trying to deliver a checkmate, your piece is defended. So it's actually takes on f2 checkmate. Get out of here.